The Cleveland Browns quarterback battle is going to be the number one headline that surrounds this team until the preseason begins. But I have a premonition. I have an idea of how this Cleveland Browns quarterback situation should play out. My name is Nick Padone. I'm a sports media professional here in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's talk about it. The Cleveland Browns made a little bit of NFL draft history when they became just the first team to ever select two running backs and two quarterbacks in the same draft class. The two quarterback thing is what's getting all of the attention as they drafted Dillon Gabriel with the number 94 overall pick. And then 50 picks later, stopped the slide on Shedeur Sanders, making him the 144th overall pick in the fifth round. Well, the Browns already have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett on their roster, as well as Deshaun Watson, who's not going to play because of his injury. I find it interesting that the Browns made Kenny Pickett their first quarterback addition. This is a guy that's still a young player. He doesn't have a fifth-year option. That was already turned down. This is a guy that I have to imagine the Browns want to see a little bit more out of. Remember, he only had a year and a half, 2 seasons with Pittsburgh before they decided that he wasn't the answer. I would imagine that the Browns just want to get a little bit of a closer look. Then they added Joe Flacco in free agency, and this was the one that had everybody buzzing because we all remember the magic carpet ride that Joe Flacco took Browns fans on when he was able to really save what appeared to be a lost season when Deshaun Watson was injured. Then Dorian Thompson-Robinson beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. We were all riding the DTR high, and then he gets injured against the Denver Broncos, and Joe Flacco almost single-handedly quarterbacks the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs where he threw two back-to-back pick sixes and lost in the wild card round against the Houston Texans. But Joe Flacco is still the steady veteran. In my view, unless he's traded, I really think Joe Flacco is probably the odds-on favorite to start at quarterback week one. Now, just because he's the starter does not mean that Joe Flacco will finish the entire season with the Browns. He's going to turn 41 years old by the time that this NFL season is over. He hasn't played a full season in quite some time. The last time we saw a full season of Joe Flacco was before that guy Lamar Jackson bursted onto the scene in Baltimore. So it's been a minute for Joe Flacco. And I don't think that Browns fans or the Browns organization, for that matter, should expect him to be able to start all 17 games. I know we had so much fun with Joe Flacco in 2023. I just think it's a big ask for him to try to replicate that again. That leads us to our rookie quarterbacks. Rookie minicamp wrapped up just last week, and it was interesting. They had 47 rookies. Andrew Berry did a tremendous job. 47 rookies, obviously 7 draft picks. I graded all of those draft picks on this channel, so check that video out and give it a like if you care to do that sort of thing over here on the YouTube machine. But then 40 other players that were there on a tryout basis or undrafted free agents. That's an impressive turnout. And the reason why they did that was they had these rookies participating in real 11-on-11s. They want to see what they have in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And it makes a whole lot of sense. I think throughout training camp, throughout the preseason games that the Browns have coming up, they're going to want to get a good hard look at both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And the reason why is because this team, even with Joe Flacco, playing at the rate that he did in 2023, they're not going to the Super Bowl. They're maybe at best a wild card playoff team that's an easy out in the postseason. This thing is all about figuring out what they have on their roster, and that all starts and ends with the quarterback position. Remember, because of the draft night trade that the Cleveland Browns made with the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have Jacksonville's first-round pick next year. There's no guarantee that Travis Hunter, while he's a great talent, is going to be the all-world guy that could turn the Jacksonville Jaguars around just like that. The Jags and the Browns could both be pretty bad teams next year, and that means the Browns would have ammo to move up in the 2026 NFL draft if they like a guy like Arch Manning or Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller. The Browns could have some options and be able to use their 2 first-round picks to scoot up and find their quarterback of the future. But before you even think about firing up those mock drafts for next year, you got to see what you have in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, because worst case scenario, neither guys are the answer, and you have a premium draft choice next year to find your true franchise quarterback. Best case scenario, though, maybe Shedeur Sanders is Brock Purdy. Best case scenario, maybe you could use those 2 first-round picks next year to get Shedeur Sanders a bona fide left tackle, a bona fide wide receiver to pair with Jerry Jeudy. And that's when things get fun. That's how you could really capitalize on not just a rookie contract, but a fifth-round rookie contract. That leads me to believe that despite the early addition of Kenny Pickett, despite the addition that had everybody, myself included, pumped when they brought back Joe Flacco, I don't know how much we see of those guys on the field for the Browns in 2025, because I think it's hard enough to draft and develop one rookie quarterback. The Browns have had their trials and tribulations with that since 1999, but now you're going to try to do it with 2 rookie quarterbacks. My guess is they're going to want to see as much as they can between training camp, preseason, and regular season snaps of Dillon Gabriel, of Shedeur Sanders, to find out if these guys could prevent them from drafting a QB in 2026. I want to know your thoughts at home. Who will start at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns week 1? So if you like these kind of videos, I told you guys, I'm going to try to keep them coming. So make sure to hit that subscribe button for some Browns football talk throughout the rest of the offseason. And hey, who knows, maybe into the regular season. I'm Nick Padone, and I appreciate all of you guys tuning in.